No sooner doth speak the devil's name. No sooner speak the devil's name than doth he appear. It's fucking Remy right now. This is a super interesting pair of characters, isn't it? What kind of fucking... What was that? Right is safe. He went for low short into flash kick as part of a mix-up. He was like, you're gonna not be blocking low right now. Rider like should not be safe. Ibuki's a cool character though. But it's just not the kind of move that should be safe. It's unparryable. It's such a good way to dissuade parries instantly. You can't punish it. There are very few attacks like that in this game. Even if you know Ibuki's going to do it, preventing it is quite difficult. Depends on what character you're playing. She is very unpopular. She's kind of hard to play and she's okay. She's not amazing. She's one of the harder characters to play. She has like a mess of tools and most of them don't really have any synergy. Executionally, she's not generally difficult, although she does have some hard things. Ibuki super does quite a lot of chip, yeah. Someone sniped Dom's bot? Which one? Shippost-chan or Shin Shippost-chan? What happened to it? That bot knew a bunch of custom commands. I don't want to lose my bot with all its custom commands. Actually, it'd be really easy to re-add most of them. We would just copy the posts of initially adding them. Shin Shippo-sama. I don't like that one as much. No, which is the one I like? I think I want the little one. I like the little one. This is annoying because it's technically my job to fix it, but I don't even want to fucking touch it with a 10-foot pole. That really Link? Oh, he got it. Meaty universal overhead into hard DP. See, that was a medium DP, I think, so it whiffed. Medium DP and hard DP are really fucking notorious for falling out. Light DP usually works. If you cancel anything into light DP, it'll generally work. But medium DP and hard DP, like, always fall out. You have to literally be in their ass and do Stand Fierce into medium DP for it to work. I don't think I did. Look at that dizzy, though. He should have found the other way. Oh, meaty parry, and you're not even ready for the fucking hard DP, which is the most likely wake-up option that's a normal from Ken. I guess he was looking for a wake-up crouch tech. Nice. This is... okay. I was going to say this is a toss-up. Alex had the slight life lead and the meaty situation, but he's a worse character. So it could still go either way very easily. I wonder if this happens to bigger guys. Little old Bath. I wonder if Ares' stream ever gets rated by robots. Or his Discord. I wonder if Ares has a Discord. I feel like most people have a Discord these days. Streamers. That's a nice anti-air. Reminder that I've already scripted the Alex guide and just haven't made it yet. I've still got to talk about the various things you can do with the super, so the script is not actually complete. It was so fast. I talked about his neutral options forever, and then I tried to talk about his combo options. I was like, oh, there's nothing. There's nothing here. My boy Alex has no combo options at all, especially when you consider um, if you don't consider supers. I want to make a 3S guide for everyone, but I'm just gonna slowly truck through it. I'm not in a hurry. Um, Third Strike devs gave an interview recently where they confirmed that they made Sean bad on purpose. And they said that they wouldn't have done it if they knew that Third Strike would be as enduring of a game as it is. It depends on the devs. Damn, that's real. That was a good parry and a terrible punish. What kind of fucking confirm is that? This is good though. He gets 2 roundhouses here. That's the setup I invented! That's my setup! I never ever see Japanese players do that shit. He must have fucking stream sniped that from me. I've been watching this game for like... I've been watching this game for like so long, and I've never ever seen anyone else do that. That was like my specific thing. I have a good success rate out of it too. Oh, that was a good jump. That re-corner was interesting. He was like in the middle of the screen, so it didn't really matter where he sent Ken. Ooh, it's over. Whoa, gets a meterless kill here. I can't believe that. I've never seen another Oro in fucking since 2004 watching this game. Never seen another Oro player do the BAF setup. Corner 2 hit stand strong post juggle. Hard fireball, juggle the jab, and then overhead low throw reset. Unreal. What if this is me from the future? What if this is me from the past? What if I went to Japan and forgot? That was a really good time to pull the overhead out. Ken could have parried that. That was not a hard parry. He was just caught off guard, but that was a free one if you fight a lot of Oros. You can spot a really bad jump, and those were both kind of bad jumps. He's just going to raw activate? Yeah, I got that feeling based on how he was playing earlier. He mistimed that. This is still good, though. Is he doing it again? He did it again! Ooh, that was a good trade. Universal overhead trading with fucking fireball. If you're dead to a universal overhead, things get pretty tricky because they're kind of hard to react to. They don't do very much damage. That's the main balancing factor, and they're unsafe. I'm pretty sure this is a 6.5, 3.5, but it might be a 7.3. On the surface, it looks like a 9.1. On the surface, it looks like Oro can just ignore all the fireballs, and he can just instantly dizzy Remy. And those things are... He can, like, instantly dizzy Remy. But the fireballs are less easy to ignore than you would think. Remy's neutral is not horrible here. But the damage output, the damage disparity is insane. Oro can literally do like 70% of Remy's dizzy bar and also like 50% of his health in one combo. From common starters, no less. Crouch Fierce. This is going to be a... He can do the touch of stun if he knows it. Wow. That was good as hell. I like knew that setup, but I'd never done that in a match. The crouch medium kick makes only the stones hit, and only like one of the stones. And then you do a hard fireball. And because one of the stones hit while the opponent was really high, and then the hard fireball hits, which has very little recovery, you get enough time to charge another hard fireball. And that does a lot of damage in Dizzy without doing a lot of scaling. Throwing fireballs doesn't make the stones have hitboxes, unlike most of Oro's other attacks. I kind of like the activate. Yeah, he did it. Oh, that's the ender. I've adapted that to my game just recently. The charging there is actually really weird, though. Normally you get a 5-hit juggle at the end of a Tengu. But if you start with a heavy fireball, you can do the heavy fireball into your 5-hit juggle and get a 6-hit juggle. But the charging is really funky. Because you need to have back charge at the end of your Tengu, which is not so easy. I like this juggle too. This guy plays almost exactly like me. Like every decision he makes is almost exactly like me. See, he lost a hit of his combo there. He lost one of the 6 struggles from his EX Tengu Stone in order to have charge. So the damage he lost is probably more than the damage he got from his extra little ender. That's what I was talking about. So that's you can just block low against as Oro against 5-stone Oro, because Universal Overhead does not come with a stand strong on Crouching Oro. It works on almost all characters, but it doesn't work on Elena, Oro, or Chun-Li. And that means that Oro has no scary overhead when the stones are up. It's like a 50-50 on other characters, but Oro can just hold that back. That was scary. Oro could have parried in either direction, and it would have been sensible. I can't believe he went for a crouch jab of all things. It's like the weakest option he could have gone for, and it worked. I like Super 2 here. I usually run that Super in this matchup. I would just do it. Just throw the Super at cornered Necro. He doesn't have a good way out of the corner. He'd have to burn his own Super to get rid of it, and you spending one of your Supers to get Necro to spend one of his is pretty good, especially because he doesn't even fully dispel your Super. He just gets rid of most of it. That's unsafe, isn't it? I thought. He didn't try to punish it. He had a unblockable there. That was really bad what he just went for. After getting the knockdown, the anti-air fireball, whatever, he could have just thrown a Super into the corner and then jumped over Necro, and then he would have had an unblockable. And that would have led to a kill combo. That also would have built a shit ton of meter. I would have picked that up if it was me. Nice. I like this, yeah. This is very obnoxious for Necro to deal with. How are you not ready for that? That was like the one thing you could do. Oh my god. Imagine if it was empty jump and fucking Necro through him. That'd be 500 IQ. Nice lender. If that gets first hit only, it's probably unsafe. But I don't know what I would have done. This is another matchup I think was probably 6.5, 3.5. On second thought, Remy probably is 7-3. Probably not 8-2 though. Oro was pretty good in this matchup if he gets a hit, but the neutral is, well, you can see it right here. Necro's probably stronger than Oro in neutral. In this particular matchup's neutral. That's a good jump over. That's a good drill. He picked both of those really wisely. I think Oro's plus if the opponent parries both hits. Especially from that far out. No. I'm not even sure that can be a punish. If you parry Oro's fireballs, they have pretty good frame data. Oro's fireballs have like super low recovery, but pretty long start up and very big range. They come out very far from his body. We've got a Nero and we've got a Dante. Yeah, this can kill. This can kill. That's what I'd have done. The double jump forward into the jump roundhouse. That's my setup! He did my setup! This is me! The double crouch fierces into the super jump forward on after heavy fireball on Necro. That's max meter build, but it's not too hard to parry out of. Well, it's still hard to parry out of, but he's got harder setups to parry out of. You're supposed to do like medium supers on Necro, but if you do hard supers, you can get a perfectly timed super jump forward after charging with two crouch faces, building some meter with two crouch faces. I've never seen another player do that. Maybe. I doubt it, but maybe. That'd be funny as fuck if he was just subbed to me on YouTube. I doubt it. I mean, it's a pretty optimal setup, so I can see how someone else would find it. The meter build for Crouch Fierce is not too high. It's just like icing on the cake kind of meter build. Like, it's like that setup's already hard as fuck to parry out of. They probably won't get it. Neutral against twins is so awkward. Kuroda says Aura wins it. Oh, that might trade. It didn't. Good shit. Good wake up super. I'll probably do Yang after Alex. Yang is fairly simple to explain. He's probably the simplest character in the whole game. I might try Yun after Yang, because if you try to explain Yun without explaining Gane, it's not too hard. The problem is that Gane is going to be crazy hard to explain. That's over. That all comboed. Getting a continuous string of Tengu Stone hits is actually harder than it sounds. Or it's very random. I haven't learned anything yet from this aura. And yet I'm still quite enamored with it. Who do I root for? Literally me or YSB? Aura's got a weird sweep. It's not particularly fast, but it recovers pretty quickly. It's like 9 frame startup -6 or something like that. It's a little bit like a worse Goken sweep. Goken sweep is actually pretty quick. But picture that. That's like the closest analog. Yeah, I would have misparried that. I would have thought the first hit was going to hit. It's usually the first or the second, but rarely, like, both. Wow. Wake up fucking shoot down backbreaker. I know what he was going for. That jump fierce helps charge a stand strong heavy fireball, which is safe on parry against Hugo, and also sets up the Hugo chicken combo, which is extremely strange. This is over. Alright, show me that EX clap. Oh, I knew it. I knew it. I know how YSB plays. I knew he was going to kill with the EX clap. Yeah, now we know. The Hugo was going for the air parry. Ooh, what a trade. And he comboed. Very good. Whoa, that was... Whoa, what the hell is this? You can just block. You can just block out a parry recovery. It's a very instinctive thing for a lot of players to do, to hit the opponent while they're going for a parry. But it's actually like a horrible idea. It's like, oh, I'll get him to parry some attack, like this 2-hit EX fireball, and then I'll super him while he's parrying, and people will just fucking hold down back. And it's like, oh. It's not like it's not without surprise value. People usually aren't ready to block while they're parrying, unless it's like something really big and obvious. That was a really, really, really bad sweep. Hugo could have hit it with a jab. YSB's whip punish was better, but a jab still would have worked. Safe from that range. Got him. Oh, I thought that was it. I thought that was it. That didn't even do that much health on Hugo. I guess it did. Half Hugo's health is pretty good. He'll probably get it back before the end of the round, too. Or he doesn't use any EX. Whoa, that was high respect. That's such a strange situation in Third Strike. So look at this. Hugo jumps in and he does crouch fierce into Shoryuken. If Hugo parries crouch fierce, then he can punish it with like a body splash if Ryu doesn't cancel it. And if Hugo expects Ryu to cancel it into um, Shoryuken, and he tries to go for a body splash, if he does like one parry to body splash, the Shoryuken will beat the body splash. But if Hugo does like two parries and Ryu only does crouch fierce and doesn't do anything else, then Hugo misses the chance to combo out of a jump in. So it's one parry always to beat this crouch fierce, and then you know um, Ryu's expecting YSB to parry exactly once. If he parries twice, then he gets beaten, and if he parries once, a sensible Hugo player would just be looking for one parry to get the parry and then jump combo on the crouching opponent on the ground. But what actually happens here is the crouch fierce just beats whatever the fuck YSB is going for, and he still gets the cancel into Shoryuken, but it's unsafe. He actually gets punished for it. It makes the crouch fierce a lot more minus to cancel it into a light DP. It's this really weird situation of how good you think your opponent's going to be. So he did an anti-air that was unsafe. Like, crouch fierce already beats most jump ins. And he did crouch fierce that would have beaten most jump ins and then made it more unsafe just to OS against the parry. Or I shouldn't say OS, to read a parry. You can see that in a lot of anti-air situations in this game. A lot of characters have variations of that. Ken has a really tricky version of that because he can do lighter versions of DPs. Or like heavier versions. And then changes the number of hits. But generally speaking, with Ken, you don't even care about hitting him on the way down. You just want to parry like the crouch fierce and then as many hits of DP as there are, and then wait for him to land. So it's pretty similar at the end of the day to the Ryu situation. It's not just any Hugo, it's the Hugo. Hugo's gonna get fucked up by Shinshoryu. He's gotta be super careful. He'll actually die to a Shinshoryu now. I think without even the juggle. Ooh, that was really good. Very difficult to win now. Oh, that was... Oh my god. He didn't even super. Oh my god, YSB. I'm scared. He could have punished that. Oh. It was like reversal super to punish that Tatu, which would have been very strange to do. Would have taken a god. Shinshoryu Ryu is good. You don't like Dudley? Oh, it's not Dudley that killed YSB. Hugo doesn't like Dudley. Nice punish. Towards Fierce, and he went for the link. Why? Whoa, that was Kara DP on Ryu. You don't see that very often. That's one of the harder characters to do it on. Close strong or low forward into two light DPs with Kara. That's hard to do on Shotos. That's really clean to see a Kara DP. That was like a hyper optimal punish. Who does that? Towards Fierce is a bad button to hit anyway. Nice link. And then he really went for the one frame link to fucking EXDP. I'm not aware of any way to make that easier. I'm not aware of any way to piano an EX move. I think you've got a raw hit. That doesn't require Kara. If you did EXDP there, it would have been parried once. Ken like threw immediately after the parry. So if Ryu did EXDP, he would have, the second hit of his DP would have just hit Ken's throw. Oh, very nice. Keep him in that corner. I thought for years that Ryu and Ken had exactly the same EX Fireball. They're the same on hit, and they do the same damage, and they're the same on parry. But Ryu's is generously more plus on block. Caught me off guard. Never knew that about the difference between them. Nice. Far roundhouse on crouching opponent, Link Super. Nuki's ready for anything. Nuki really is one of the best Chun-Lis ever. Maybe the best. I'd still generally put my money on MOV. It's beautiful to still see the old names play in this game. That's storage. Holy fuck! Look at this. When did he push those lightning legs? Timeout. Look at this. Look at this random ass. I can't believe he held it that long. How do you store lightning legs that long? I didn't know you could store it for such a ridiculous amount of time. He did 4 of his 5 kicks during the throw, but then he just sat there. He just wiggled back and forth, and then he hit his 5th kick, and it was just like, hey, what up? Yeah, Ryu's EX Hado is 0 on block, and Ken's is -6. When I said generously more plus, I didn't mean that it is plus. I just meant that it's more plus than Ken's. Ken can get reversal Hoyok's end from his EX Fireball if it hits pretty close. They wanted a fire motif on both of them at some point. They wanted their signature moves of each character to be fiery. But it looks like they've kind of slowly shifted, especially with like V-Trigger 1 for Ken in Street Fighter 5. It looks like they've slowly shifted over to Ken just being the fiery one. How he stored the lightning legs? It's just got a really long window between the fourth hit and the 5th hit. That's a really hard parry. Hit the red parry and then get the entire Hoyoksen punish. Hugo can do, I want to say Hugo can do 8 parries into a SPD, so he doesn't have to parry the whole thing. But honestly, the first parry is the hardest parry by far. If I get the first parry, I often get the whole thing. I like the way they designed Ken's attacks in Street Fighter 5. I don't like playing him that much, but a lot of people do. A lot of people just don't like his T right now. I'm not sure what I would do to Ken to make him kind of better. The kick fireballs are stylish, but they're definitely not good. I'd take Ken's regular fireball over those kick fireballs any day of the week as an Omega Ken player. Those kick fireballs are fucking shitty. They're interesting, though. Give him a hat. I like this. Give him a cowboy hat. Nah, that punish. Parry into low jab. He could have done parry into raw super. I mean, you could say that's the lore. The lore is that Ryu's better at throwing fireballs than Ken. Shinobu Urien. That was deep. He probably had a link into super there. Oh no, he got hit by that. Yeah, I look for that too. He did reversal headbutt to give Chun-Li a false confirm. So right here, There's no human way, based on the timing of this back fierce, there's no way that even if he holds up, Urian should not be able to get airborne. So by seeing the back fierce hit, Chun-Li's like, oh, this is a super confirm. But because Urian did reversal headbutt, it's airborne frame 1. So he gets hit midair, and then he falls into the recovery of the super and punishes it. Oro can do that with Stomp. Ibuki can do it with light uppercuts. And I think Akuma can do it with Demon Flip, but you wouldn't really need to do it with Akuma because you can just teleport out. They can still give people false confirms if you do it with Akuma. There's, I think, another one, but I don't remember what. Cody does have, even in the lore of Street Fighter, not even just the comics and stuff, Cody does have a respectable power level. He doesn't really have a key style of, like, fighting. That was a nice low parry. I talked about that in my parry video. Is using low parry to, he wants to get hit by the kick, but not the mirror. So the low parry will always, it'll parry the mirror, but it won't parry any sort of normals that Urian probably does. And because he got hit by that kick, he got pushed out of the mirror. That EX Fireball is really shitty. He doesn't say Cody's freakishly strong. He's just the only character who acknowledges that Cody's holding back. It's something like that. This is a huge damage, and he's going to have another mirror by the end of it. Oh, he dropped the... He went for double tackle instead of St. Fierce. I respect that. Throw? It didn't even work. I don't know if you can throw out of that. If you can, you need your throw to be partially resolved before the super even comes out, which actually happened. So I wasn't sure. Didn't, like, Rose see, like, Guy of all characters as being the one who would beat Bison? Wasn't that some bullshit? And, like, Alpha? Double tackle is really hard. People like Cody. Cody's like the fucking one of the most played characters in the game, or he was in 4. He probably will be in 5 before too long. Right now, people just don't have a whole lot of faith in him. People have such little faith in the new characters. Every new character that comes up, people have, like, no faith whatsoever. I have a vivid memory of posting a bunch of tutorials, posting, like, change list videos to and during the season 2 changes, I predicted that Ibuki would be a higher top tier. And someone on Reddit, like, got really on my case for that. He's like, just, Ibuki's not a good character, and these changes are not enough to make her good. He, like, made a pretty long post about it. And then Ibuki ended up being, like, higher top tier for, like, all of season 2 and also still all of season 3. Ibuki was already strong in season 1, and then she got, like, massive buffs. She was already, like, viable. She was already, like, she didn't need help. She got help. I think Sakura is already viable. I think G is already viable. I think Scott's already viable. I think Blanca's already viable. I think Cody's already viable. The only character I have any doubts about is Falk. But people don't want to hear about viability. They want to hear about, like, good. G is probably good. I think Sagat is probably good too. Oh, he dropped it. I think Cody is probably good. I have mixed... Oh, that's going to hit. I have mixed feelings on Sakura, Blanca, and Falk. I personally think Sakura is probably, like, upper mid, and Blanca's, like, lower mid. But that's not a popular opinion. Most people actually think Blanca's better than Sakura. I don't know. Blanca did get helped quite a lot by the season 3.5. Maybe Blanca is better. Maybe I think he's, like, mid as well. Upper mid. I don't know. Maybe I put both of them in dead mid. Mimora. I definitely think there's a power gap between like G Sagat and Cody, and then the other three. It's not a huge power gap though, but I think those three are better than the other three. That white health is a pain in the ass for Cody though on the V skill. It makes V skill a lot worse than it should be for being a one button reversal. I've seen so many Cody players treat it like they have advantage after that. You're on the back leg whenever you land that reversal. You're obviously way on the back leg if it's ever blocked. But you don't get Oki after that, after V-skill. And you also have some white health you've got to look after. You really have no business pressing any sort of offense. He parried so early and re-held it so long. Makoto could have held up forward to get out of that. That's the mix-up. The taunt. Rude. I see a lot of people take a bunch of damage they don't need to because they think that the V-skill for Cody is better than it is. I think G is kind of awkward to actually play. I'm not super interested in playing him. Sagat I probably would main if I didn't already have a character I'm in love with. I think I like Sagat more than any of the Season 2 characters. But I like a lot of the Season 3 characters. I like a lot of the Season 1 characters a lot. I like Rog, I like Ibuki, I like Guile. I like I was about to say Akuma, but he's Season 2, isn't he? Yurin's okay. I like Jury. I like playing most of Season 1. This will not... This might kill. I was overestimating Ryu's ability. I just was like, you know, it's Yang health. I play Sakura. I've spread myself out very thin in Street Fighter V, unfortunately. I'd be a lot better of a player if I just stuck to someone. But I didn't like most of the characters that well. I've been liking characters more like all the time. Laura still is the character I like the most of the base roster, but I don't like her that much. He just got a dizzy with a Denjin. He had no meter. If you ever just get a dizzy on someone, almost always you won't have any meter for an EX donkey kick. Observe his meter. He built the meter for the EX donkey kick after the full jumping combo. As a general rule of thumb, after Ryu dizzies with a Denjin, he has to go for a meterless combo. So it's almost always that combo. Jump roundhouse, crouch fierce, hard tatsu. I guess I like Birdie more than Laura, actually. I do like playing Birdie. Donkey Kick is not great. It has a couple really niche uses. Donkey Kick mostly exists as a reason to give Ryu EX Donkey Kick, which is great. EX Donkey Kick is actually one of the better tools Ryu has. It's very welcome because it was missing on his character. It gives Ryu above average punish damage instead of very, very below average. Hard to say what they would do with Aura. This is not a good... Yeah. That was really classic Tomy. Whenever you neutral jump and parry something, you're put into a forward jump state. So when Ryu came down with a jump roundhouse, it was a neutral jump roundhouse. That comboed. Oh, it's over. Kuni did it. The taunt cancel from Crouch Fierce. Bad manner as hell. Good shit. That's a good archive. All I know about Bishamon is that his charge moves get bigger if he charges longer, and his sword normals are godlike. VT2 would definitely be Tengu Stones, and his super would definitely be the Booger. SF5 Aura would have a really gimp version of Chicken Combo. It would be there, though. It would just be tiny. There would just be like 2 reps instead of 3. And you'd probably not be able to confirm super out of it. Sasquatch is grimy as fuck. I'm pretty sure he's top 1, but I don't remember for sure. Okay, I know he's top tier. I meant more like top 1. Talmane's in this. He's pretty good. That pull in. If that hits, there's several follow-ups you can do. He sends a demon at the opponent, then you can pull the opponent towards you. I think you can slash at the opponent with like a charging slash. The pursuit attack killed. That hop. You can do forward dash into... What's the sound going on here? You can do forward dash into 2 overheads, or you can do forward dash into overhead into low. And it's like unseeable. And then he also has a command grab. It's honestly completely disgusting. I mean, already this is a game where people spam dashes. But Sasquatch probably has the most abusable dash in the whole game. Look at that. You see how delayed that was? It was like overhead into overhead. But they were so far apart. One annoying thing about this game is it's invariably recorded in 30 FPS. And the recoverable life flashes every other frame. Which means the recoverable life is almost always invisible. All attacks do like some real damage and some recoverable damage. And the recoverable damage just comes back no matter what. You can't make it go away by hitting the opponent or anything. Wonder if that stand strong or whatever makes his attacks recover faster. EX is probably plus there. Have I? 4 hours. That's not really that long for me. This is almost a huge comeback. Oh, I shouldn't have said anything. A new Darkstalkers game could happen. I don't consider it super unlikely. It's definitely on Capcom's little list of games they want to make, but I think they think there's no interest in it. Wow, that all linked? He just did one of his charge moves and then linked out of it into like jab strong fierce. Tight. I think he's got some normals where he can control the angle with directions. Sword slash kind of things. Guard cancel DP. Darkstalkers could benefit a lot from a cross-second style system, I feel, of normal canceling. You can cancel, you can special cancel normals, and you can also chain, but if you chain, you can't special cancel. So it's already a bit like Cross Tekken. Cross Tekken adds the ability to go into like meteor moves, even if you chain, as long as you're going from a cancelable attack. So like you can't cancel Hugo's Crouch Fierce into anything. So you can't cancel it even if you chain into it, except to boost attack. Launch attack. But his low strong you can cancel, so even if you chain low jab, low strong, you can still cancel that to EX clap, but not regular clap. I just feel like there aren't enough special moves in combos in this game. I've always felt that just looking at it. It's not like people don't use special moves, but like tier and just offensive presence is so defined by like dash plus normal. It's just a very normal heavy game. That was cool. That was a cancel into a special move, into an EX move. It's not like they're not doing special moves. They're just mostly doing them in neutral. It just makes all the combos look really unimpressive, I feel. It sets the bar really low for combos. There is some like combo video stuff you can do in this game, quite a lot. But most of it has no sort of match application. You know what I mean? Like you can't like get some crazy amazing punish opportunity. Well, you can. And then just go into like, jab strong fierce roundhouse. Lilith is maybe as good as Morgan and also maybe better. They're usually placed right next to each other on tier lists. A lot of her moves look like Dane-style moves. It's like, oh, this fireball's got to be worse than Morgan's. It barely travels across the screen. But a lot of things Lilith has, even though they look worse, they kind of have a different function that kind of is just as good. Like the active frames on that fireball make it kind of good for space control. But that fireball's one of her less impressive qualities. I think she's got normals that are better than Morgan's, but don't quote me. And I think her dash is a bit more, more abusable. Morgan's got like a jumping style dash, and she's got like a running style dash. Yeah, they're usually regarded to be like pretty low tier. I've seen them in second from bottom, and I've seen them in bottom. EX command grab you can just combo out of. Thanks, Sasquatch. The balance in this game is not too great. Say that. You got characters like El Raptor and Sasquatch, who are just super hard to fight. And then you got characters like Victor, who almost no one plays. I like QB a lot. I think she's high tier. I like Rikuo. I think he's mid. Those are the characters I like to play. See how he's like plus after these fucking jump dash strings? And they're all overheads too. This is a command grab that you can combo out of. You can see the Y health right now. It's either always there or never there. Because of the frame rate of recording. Isn't that a charge move? I feel like it's not. Maybe it's just quarter circle. I don't remember the motion for the move where he kicks you. I know it has different hitboxes based on which button you hit. Like it's really tall if you do the heavy one, and it's really long if you do the light one or something. So one of them's a good anti-air, and one of them's like a good poke. There's also like next to no juggles in this game, which is a shame. The combos are like overly simple, I feel. I like games like Third Strike because the combos occasionally get really, really ridiculous. Like so usually they'll be like, it's a little dinky combo, normal special, or maybe like normal normal special. That one's not so common in Third Strike, or maybe normal special special. But then every now and then, like when it comes to like a big punish opportunity for like max damage or something like that, you can see some really cool stuff. I like seeing a big punish when I'm watching fighting game footage, to be honest. I like seeing some combo ingenuity. Like when I see someone block like a super in fucking, or maybe not a super. When I see someone block like a DP in Street Fighter 2 and they punish with like sweep. I mean, like on one hand, yeah, that's how the game is played, You gotta punish DPs really fucking fast. And, like, you know, cancels won't even necessarily do more damage, and a cancel might not even be available or stuff like that. Street Fighter 2 is interesting from a neutral perspective, but the combo options are... Some of them are cool. I like DJ struggles. I like Chun-Li's stuff. Some characters are interesting from a combo standpoint. Not many. The sound on this video is shit. It's going on and off, on and off. If you look at Alpha, sometimes you see... Alpha 2 is really good about, like, big punishes. The combo ceiling, skill ceiling is quite high. Alpha 3 is really bad about it. The combo skill ceiling on, like, custom combo stuff is really high. And on most other stuff, it's pretty low. Yeah, Fei Long juggles are fun. I like seeing the anti-air chicken wing into the anti-air DP or whatever. Fei Long is one of the more interesting characters for me to watch. For me. If you watch Third Strike, it's got a pretty high skill ceiling for combos. You see the whole mixed bag. Not mixed bag, you see the whole shebang. You see, like, the light, you know, stuff. You see the big stuff. Street Fighter EX is amazingly good about that. About, like, optimizing punishes and whatnot. Doing the right combo. About half the cast has true infinites out of custom combos. Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5 are both pretty good about the hyper-optimal punishing ability. And the creativity. 5 is not so good about the creativity, but it's there. I like seeing smart stuff, you know? I like when you have to do a very specific punish due to a very specific opportunity, and 5 has a decent amount of that. Having a lot of combos you're ready to do in very fucking abrupt situations. In this game, it can be fucking anything unsafe, and it's just punished with forward dash into, like, 2-hit air string into fucking 5-hit ground string. He should have canceled that sooner than he did. I'm not even sure what the fucking Dark Void for Sasquatch does. Yeah, I get in the mood to watch this sometimes, Vampire Savior. I'm like, oh, this is a cool fighting game. And then I watch it, and it's just like a whole bunch of Sasquatch footage, and I'm just like, you know. I always expect there's going to be something that looks different from what I've already seen. Rarely is there. I never see fucking Jettas, even though he's not even a bad character. I never see Kibi's, even though she's not a bad character. Rarely do I see Talbanes. Rarely do I see Raptors. I just see Sasquatch. I almost never see Baby Bonnie Hood. These are probably the same guys duking it out. I couldn't tell you for sure. The title of the video is Acho Vampire Savior Darkstalkers Duo Festival 4th. Interpret that as you will. Oh, look, it's right there on the screen. It's a shame. I really like the music of the stage. Vampire Savior stages have such a cool aesthetic. I really like Red Thirst. Oh, there's a character that you never ever see. Anacharis. Is Sweetsil even in this game? I don't think I've ever seen anyone play him. I know he was in 2. I think Pyron is not in this game. Donovan is not in this game. Yeah, Fetus of God is a good stage. It's weird to remove a character. It's weird that they did that. Donovan is in Vampire Savior 2. No Huitzel? I never see Felicia. You think there'd be 5 characters in this game if you just watch this footage. Let's skip around for something that's not these 2 characters. Oh, look, it's a fucking Shinko. The problem is whenever it's someone else in Sasquatch, Sasquatch tends to do really fucking well. Lele has some of the most interesting movement of any character I've ever seen in a fighting game, but I think it's not that good. She's got like an air dash, she can cancel at any time. But look at this mess. How did she get him off? That was a punish, I think. See that instant overhead? That was dirty. She's got both an air dash that she like runs midair, and then she's also got a swing that she can cancel at any time. And she can use both of those to get very, very low jumps, which she can use to get instant overhead stuff. She's got that forward dash that makes her invisible. That was good. Oh, it's a baby bunny hood. Her movement's so interesting. Baby Bonnie Hood's really weird because she's a charge character, but the movement, you have to be holding a lot of... It's hard to hold back in this game. I think swinging the bag is a motion move, but most of her moves are charge. But that's okay because you mostly just fucking do normals anyway, so whatever. If you're close, then that knockdown combos into those. Got the air throw from that. I wonder if Baby Bonnie Hood has a German accent. That's like a weird thought. She's never been voiced. QB. She's got her air dash tracks. It's really strange. She needs the right angle to be able to get instant overheads. So when you do your air dash, when you do instant air dashes, has to be different timing based on how far away you are from your opponent. When you see someone else doing it, it's like, wow, that looks really good and obnoxious and strong. That's the move that kills her. But then when you try it yourself, it's like, wow, this is really hard. It feels like unbelievably awkward compared to how it looks. All those hit. Kibi has a command grab, or I think it's just a hit grab, where she actually, like, the character dies. One of the strangest attacks in all video games. This is not the same Kibi from the beginning of the round. A new one was born. Yeah, Kibi's wing quotes imply that she's just like a nearly mindless creature. All she thinks about is eating. Like she's basically an animal. It's a shame because she could be a really endearing character. Most of the other girls in this series are nice and endearing. That movement, she's got like a jaguar tooth. See that instant overhead? Very hard to see. There's a cute part of QB's design. It's the eyeballs. Let me pause it when she's walking forward. Um, Make it a good frame. These things right here, those are her eyes. They're like bee eyes. And then these things right here, I mean, maybe they're also eyes. She might have compound eyes. She might have a bunch of eyes like a lot of insects do. But the way that she stands, she like looks at the ground, but these things point towards the opponent, while these things like look towards the ground. It implies the top ones are the real eyes. She's got like giant ass eyes on the top of her head, insect style. When she gets electrocuted, her skeleton is just a bee with like sticks going down all the limbs, but I'm pretty sure that's just a gag. They had a lot of fun with unique animations in this game. Almost everyone has a really interesting skeleton. Like there's some kind of gag in like half the character skeletons. Maybe not half. And then you got stuff like Midnight's Bliss. Yeah, the supers that turn you into weird objects that Anacaris has. Anacaris has fucking one of the strangest special move motions I've ever seen in all video games. Like Vampire Savior 2 Anacaris, I think especially has a couple more. But he's got one where the motion is literally like light punch, medium kick, hard punch, down, hard kick, medium punch, light kick. It's like something like that. It's a demon, raging demon style motion. Yeah. When Anacaris is jumping and he does a leg attack, he has hurt boxes literally going from like the bottom of the screen to the top. You can hit his legs like anywhere. The fact that he can do like whatever kicks from the ground while jumping is already pretty weird. Every character, it looks like the big selling point of Darkstalker series is they tried to give everyone like a different movement option. It's not super balanced, but you can definitely see it there. I don't miss weird inputs in fighting games. I've played fighting games where like I don't know how the hell they expect you to ever use something. And I'm not just talking about fucking delta motions. There's the move that kills QB. EX Pursuit still wasn't enough. EX Chase. This is a lot more interesting than the Sasquatch mirror footage. I liked MK3's combo system. It was fairly easy to understand, and for the most part, it worked pretty well. It also let them give every character like weapons and shit. They just made Scorpion and intended for him to have an axe, but couldn't actually show it forever. They wanted to add weapon styles forever before they ever succeeded. You could tell that was something they really wanted to do, based on the way that fucking MK3 worked and then the way MK4 worked. And then in Deadly Alliance, they actually made it so characters can pull out literal weapons. If you go back and play a lot of fucking old fighting games, like the ones that didn't succeed, they've got a lot of motions like that. Like if you go back and play fucking Primal Rage, you got motions that are fucking like horrible. That was the norm back then. You got motions with like up in the middle of the motion. Let me think. I think the Power Rangers fighting game, or like the TMNT one, or Time Killers. I don't remember how special moves worked in Time Killers. Were there even special moves in Time Killers? When's Beth Time Killers playthrough? Those old fighting games, they had the big and dumbs. Time Killers has a big and dumb. Vice, she has like an air, half circle forward, up forward, up, down, right? That's one of her super motions. She's had that forever. That's annoying to do. Time Killers did have some kind of cool stuff in it for being like one of the biggest Kuso fighting games. You had limb-based combat, and you could cut off the opponent's limbs, and then if your limbs were cut off, the limb-based buttons would do like nothing, I think. So you had like a right arm and a left arm button. But if you had your character's fucking right arm cut off, then your right arm button would do nothing. I've heard of Waku Waku. Tekken, something like that could honestly work, but it would need to not be like, ripping your limb off. It would need to be something like paralyzing the limb. But that'd actually be really cool. Yeah, like having the limb broken. And then you can't use any fucking attacks that use that limb. Have it affect your movement. That would be an insanely cool fighting game. See, that's like a salvageable idea from a terrible game. Time Killers is shitty, but that's actually cool. Imagine having B&Bs that didn't use your left arm. Yeah, imagine having no arms B&Bs. Good thing I play Hwoarang. Good thing I play Beck. I can just do big combos with no limbs, with no arms. Maniac state strike. What do you mean? Oh no, Steve with no arms. Another thing that time killers had was you would get commended if you got both of your arms cut off and still won. Like you got there was like a special thing for like armless win. Imagine how hype that would be in a tournament if someone had both their arms cut off and then they fucking still won with like just fucking kicks and headbutts. You could also decapitate your opponent and it was like an instant kill. That's how to know. That's when you know instantly that you're playing a Kusoge fighting game. It's the presence of instant kills. The only good fighting game I can think of that had instant kills in any way was like Guilty Gear. And they're so specific to actually do. I watched Third Strike just a second ago. It was East versus West at GameSpot versus. Sin. That's actually pretty funny. I want to find Time Killers footage. I doubt there's any sort of tournament for it, so I guess we're just gonna find a fucking playthrough. This is a real game that exists. Oh yeah. We're deep into Kuso right now. He floated off because we're on the space stage. When's Time Killer's Kuso Cup? Look, he's got no arm. Remember, the original idea for Vega was to make him a knight, but then they were like, that doesn't really make sense. because they're supposed to be characters from all across the world, not all across time. So they made Vega like a fucking Spanish bullfighter. That's the attack that instant kills, I think. If you hit like every button on your stick at the same time, it gives you an attack that cuts off the opponent's head. And if it lands, it's instant death. Like that was one of them, I think. Cut off the arm. Who needs it? Cut off the other arm. Beheaded. Damn. Look at him. You can see the bone. Oh yeah, it's the big and dumb. It's the quintessential big and dumb. All of his attacks are like dramatically slower with no upside. The arm. Oh shit. Bodied. One of the guys has a chainsaw and the other has a fucking stone axe. How is this fair? I got a new hood ornament. This game is edgy. Life. His name is very clearly Leif and they call him Life. Leaf. Is it Leif or Leaf? It's not Life. I want to say it's Leaf. Leif. Pretty sure Leaf. Oh, the head goes overboard. And there's water effects. That's a nice touch, actually. I've never seen anyone play this game and not pick Rancid. Rancid's just got the best character design by far. It's like you can play as all these other characters, or you could play as the fucking guy from New York from like 2050 who uses a fucking chainsaw. Oh, what the fuck kind of playthrough is this? He died? Let's just skip the rematch. There are two characters from the future, and it's literally like, they're fucking basically the same character. It's like, here's this girl with her fucking plasma sword. And then there's this guy from earlier with his fucking also plasma sword. It's like the same shit. They're from two different time periods, but both the time periods are just fucking, just ridiculously far in the future. So who even cares? Rancid's from the future. Musashi. The combat in this game looks so fucking awkward. Characters just flinging their bodies at each other. Look at this stage. The fucking severed heads just on the pikes on the back. I like how this player's whole stratus is jump back in the corner and fucking swing his... come down with an attack. It's working really well. It's not random, but you can be one-hit killed. I don't think there's any random chance component to it. I don't know. The limb cutting off might be random chance. When you trade, but the trade cuts off your fucking limb. Mantaz. This one's from the far, far future. She's the other girl besides Matrix. Mutant Armageddon 4080. You can play as a fucking alien thing. The wings. The eye laser. This footage is so shit. Who recorded this? I'll do a fucking playthrough of this game. It'll be better than this footage. Who do you guys think the last boss of the game is going to be? Give me a guess. Oh, he missed his instant kill. Oh, I forgot. There's a mirror match at the end. All right, where do we go? Where's Rancid from? Postmodern age 2024. We're almost there. 6 more years. No, he's not the last boss. God, this footage is so shit. He can't even beat the other Rancid. Alright, let's see. It's the Grim Reaper. Thanos with a scythe. He's fighting off death himself. That's visible. Oh, it's... I didn't even get a very good cut of this video, did I? I thought it would just be the same size as the other one. In the second round, you have to hit him with an instant kill, otherwise he's got infinite HP. I think you can stun him and then get him with an instant kill like that, or you can just pray. Do your instant kill attack over and over and just hope you get it. Yeah, what's up with this? What's this whole thing? This game is so Kuso. This is like the game I picture whenever I picture Kuso fighting games. Even though it should probably be Tattoo Assassins. Since that's the actual worst fighting game ever made. Yeah, they are shitty Psycho Crushers. Oh, let's do this. He killed Death himself. What's the ending? Damn. Powerful. Deep stuff. Alright, give me a second really fast to find another dank fucking video. Let me check my comments because I got a whole bunch. Oh, later. Nice having you. Alright, let me check my playlists for weird dank stuff we can watch. You guys want to watch Cloud9 versus Ninjas in Pajamas? Group A, ESL Counter-Strike. I kind of like watching Counter-Strike. You guys want to watch Chess Archives? Anyone else like chess? Okay, I found some recent Caruso replays. Those will be alright. Let's do that. Alright, hold on. Wait for it. Hata. Who's this? Bonchan. We missed the beginning of the fight, but whatever. Nothing even happened. Bonchan got beat up. We all like Bonchan. Yo, fucking Sagat stand jab. That's actually a good ass normal. Nice, he couldn't do towards plus trigger there. He had to do raw trigger. I have mixed feelings on the Tiger knee there. It can juggle. I think he was too far in that instance. I feel like he should have just taken the DP. Yeah, he did. No doubt about it. But I like the DP there. You're leaving a lot of damage on the table by not taking the DP, I feel. Anyway, Sagat stand jab is like 4 frames, and it goes disturbingly far for 4 frames. It goes about as far as Sakura stand short. And he can combo out of it at max range into high or EX high Tiger shot. Unfortunately, he can't combo out of max range into DP at all ranges. And it also doesn't always work into EX low Tiger shot if you're like near max range. So you basically need a standing opponent to combo out of it at the very limits of it. But you know, in terms of a 4-frame punish, it's really good. And your opponent, if you need a 4-frame punish, your opponent will usually be standing. So it's actually a really nice little tool Sagat has. His stand short's really good too, but I think that's 5 frames. Nice. You can do card DP there to ensure you always get all the hits. It does look kind of silly when it doesn't get pinned down. Like it feels like it should be attached to like his inner elbows on the sides. There's like certain pieces of clothing that shouldn't be free floating in Street Fighter V, and it looks hella bad. Like if you look at the hem of Rog's, like most of Rog's jacket looks great right now, but if you look at the hem, it looks kind of crazy sometimes. Like it's just going nuts. It clips through his body a lot too. It's like it's really close. I'm surprised that jab didn't punish. Maybe he was just late. It looks really close to being, like it's on the cusp of the future. You know what I mean? That's how a lot of the animations in this game look. We're on that cutting edge where it's not quite all the way there. With a hand-drawn animation, everything would have to be very manually, like, you know, put in. And if you could just have that, like the clothing flowing realistically without, like, having to manually do it. He could have punished. He could have killed there. If you see the opponent V-reversal as Sagat, you can trigger and use the armor to absorb it, and then punish the V-reversal with the kick. Sagat can punish V-reversals. He is a parry, sort of. He can use his V-trigger like a parry. If things can flow the way they really would in real life, it would look amazing. But a lot of the stuff doesn't really look, you know, good while it's flying around. You can see they definitely made an attempt to do that. Like there's certain sections of every costume where they're designed to be free floating. Like Sakura's bloomers, like Kimi's hair. Not her bloomers, her skirt. Shows off her bloomers. Kimi's hair looks so shit sometimes. Usually it looks pretty good the way it flies around. It's a lot better than 4, that's the thing. In 4 it just clipped through everything all the fucking time. In 4 they only had the basic beginnings of that stuff. It's so much better in this game. But because it's better, it looks closer to being perfect. And because it looks closer to being perfect, the imperfections are a lot more obvious. Nice jump. Medium kick again? No, straight to super. This might kill. It's gonna be close. This is a very skilled super. Just that combo got the super to like 50%. Cause, no, it wasn't 50, but it was like 70. Jump around house, it's 100. Stand around medium kick, it's 90. V-trigger activate, it drops instantly to 70. And then the super, it was a 60% super. I think. Don't stop me. Oh yeah, that was got scaling too. Oof. Ouch. Didn't quite have the meter to close it out. Wake up, jab. Well timed. Both of them waited until they were both absolutely sure the opponent was not going to do anything, and they both acted at the same time. You can get really good if you play fighting games a lot. You can get really good intuition about that sort of thing. If we can retcon a character to be black, we can retcon a character to be white. Let's do it. Let's have White Dudley. I have mixed feelings about Brady's entire character history. I feel like he's definitely a lot better than he was when he was designed, but it feels like they have no direction whatsoever. I feel like Brady's been progressively getting more interesting the longer the games go. I still don't think he's interesting. But like Birdie in first game was literally like, you know, a very boring character design in my humble opinion. Alpha Birdie was much more interesting. Fat Birdie has personality. And a lot of it. What is this fucking matchup? Is it that hard? One thing Sagat can do if he gets a really far away connect into B trigger activate is he can link a Staminouse. Staminouse is actually pretty fast. It's like 7 frames and 9 frames if the first hit doesn't connect or something like that. Nice punish. That's thing beady right there. Durr. Nice punish! I like that confirm. I don't think I actually put that confirm anywhere in the B&B video. Even though I like made a mental note to do it. Should have made a physical note to do it. It's a good confirm. Yeah, it should definitely be in there. Using a low fireball to confirm a super. I canceled to a low fireball. I might have observed that it was possible, but not actually had it in the video. This might kill. I don't think it... No, it should. He's got the super and everything. That drop. It probably was supposed to be Sinjab, actually. I feel like they could do a really interesting story with Balrog. Sagat is Thai. Doesn't look like any fucking Thai person I've ever seen. The overhead does neat. Thai people are like 5 feet tall. How has it got so huge? I feel like Rog had a lot of things happen to him between Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5, and a lot of it's implied, but like, um, they don't say it. Like Balrog goes from being like this like big brutish kind of money-loving, you know, gambling kind of guy, sleazy motherfucker, to having kind of caring for a kid, and he was just in it for the money. But then a lot of the dialogue, a lot of the story mode and whatnot, the character stories and the main story, seem to indicate he's kind of not super interested in the whole Shadaloo business anymore, and that he actually like is looking after Ed. I like the character component of like this unexpected, you know, he tries out this dad thing and he finds out he likes it, even though he's not really, you know, a dad kind of guy. Not really responsible for himself, let alone someone else. Nice fucking pickup. That's actually a super interesting part of Balrog's character. Very redeeming. And it would also shed a lot of light on Ed, where we have very little lore. I feel like a story mode focusing on those two would be very interesting to me. There's like a lot you could do with those two. Oh, that was such a perfect jump, but she recovered in time. He jumped right as she threw the X fireball, and she really recovered. Chun-Li's something else. The X fireball is very little recovery. Nice empty cancel. I bet they were both empty cancels. Sinshart won't even combo the EX low from max range, I think. So I got some annoying stuff like that. Oh, I was going to say, canceling from normals, you can link stand roundhouse, but the opponent has to be standing. You can just react during the freeze, but it's kind of annoying. Because it's like the difference between having a pretty good link into stand roundhouse into towards plus trigger, or having no link at all. An empty cancel is when you cancel a move that's whiffing. And then if if it hits like an extended limb, the cancel will activate. But if it just whiffs, then the cancel won't activate because a cancel only works if you're hitting something. Very nice. Meaty high tiger shot. You cannot duck unless you do a reversal low. Yeah. It's empty cancel. It's buffered special. It's got another name. There's like 3 common names for it that were all used all at once. I usually hear people say empty cancel these days, but it really depends. Mortal Kombat had its own name for it, but I can't think of what it was. Reminder that cancels in Mortal Kombat are called 2-in-1s. That's like borderline fucking messy-guessy. Oh no, I think that links. He missed it though. Counter hit low strong into hard DP. He must have not gotten it first frame. Usually the range is good from that kind of... Like from where he was, range shouldn't have been an issue. I think it was Hugo. One of the endings in... Oh, that dropped. That usually has a timing where it'll work, even from like really far away distances. One of the endings of Street Fighter... I'm surprised he didn't super cancel that. This will kill. One of the endings of Street Fighter 3, I think Hugo's ending, in one of the Street Fighter 3 games, seems to imply that Ryu learned a bunch of wrestling at some point Obviously, there's like the one where they all get recruited as pro wrestlers. That might be the one where Ryu has like a line where it's like maybe we'll learn something or something. There's a couple times here and there in the series where it implies that Ryu knows a lot more than the 3 special moves he uses, which is really strange. Like, theoretically, he could use other characters' fighting styles if he really wanted to. Or maybe not other characters' fighting styles, but like he's practiced moves beyond just the Shoryuken, the Tatsumaki, and the Hadoken. And those are just the ones he finds to be the most useful. Yeah, this is Sako, and he is playing G. I like the idea that Ryu just has an SPD, but he's not doing it. It's like, yeah, if I wanted to SPD you, I could. I like the idea that Ryu has an SPD and he didn't consider that to be a useful tool for his arsenal. Imagine Ryu with an SPD. It'd be Seth. That Super Tuesday was a pretty good little quote. The light it up is 10 times better in English than it is in Japanese. Hidden Missile Ryu. This is my new fanon. That's so good against fireballs. Holy shit. I mean, I already knew, but it's just unreal when you're actually seeing it. He gets a lot of V meter from that, an uncomfortable amount. Like when you consider that compared to like how much Nash gets. I think Nash has more recovery too. It's over. Power to the ass. The cigar color's nice. I like the very subtle blue. And I really like the orange of the shirt and wraps. I just call that thing a shirt. I don't know what to call it. Reminder that Sakura loves video games and hates math. And reminder that fucking Sakura sucks at fighting games. Excellent punish. Wow, he held it. And fucking this Sagat player didn't do anything. He definitely got punished. There's quite a lot of recovery on that. Honestly, very rarely would I use an EX move with G at all. Sometimes it's the right play. Particularly with the EX dash punch. Jump into ranked and watch you fight opponents using only sweeps and throws. No, maybe not sweeps. Throws, maybe. Sweeps aren't even really a thing you use that much in the game. Your fundamentals are like, I wouldn't call sweeps fundamental. Maybe they were in Street Fighter 2, but not anymore. Muradaya. Like he's at full V-trigger already. You really get way too much. Not that I'm pro nerfing G or anything. It's just such a strong reply to fireballs. Yeah, only pokes and throws would be better. Or just like throws and good defense, stuff like that. That would actually show off fundamentals. I wrote off G kick, but holy shit, it's something else. I saw it was -5, and I was like, whatever. And I saw that you couldn't link out of it when it was spaced, and I was like, okay, probably not going to use this move that much. Because, I can't link out of it if I get it spaced, and if I don't do it spaced, then I could get punished. But doing it spaced, even if you can't link out of it, it's pretty obnoxious. Oh, reversal did not pan out. That did, though. It's surprisingly hard to punish a straight dash punch. They're only -4. Um, the honest truth is the best way to get, like, the best way to play well, get to a point where you're playing well, is to imitate playing well. I think. You shouldn't, like, it's not going to train you. It's not going to be good teaching to train you to, like, deliberately do the wrong things. Just so you get better at, like, handling more mix-ups, I feel. If you do something more, you'll get better at dealing with it. And if you just block way too much, you'll get better at blocking. But a lot of mix-ups, you can't really, like, it's just a guess. You can't really get better at a guess. The real skill comes from preventing the mix-up from happening. So I don't think it's really helping you in any way to just deliberately not prevent the mix-up from happening. That's the thing you're actually trying to get better at. That's the actual, like, the core of what makes you good at Street Fighter. Uh, Definitely the best practice for doing special moves properly is to use training mode. What you should do is record the dummy jumping in at you, and then start while holding down back, and then get used to doing an anti-air shoryuken on reaction to the jump from down back, because that's a very match applicable setting. That's something you'll be doing in real matches all the time. Do your best to use training mode to replicate a real scenario. But, like, there's nothing except hard practice that'll make you better at doing special moves. There are a few things, but not that many. Muscle memory, you've just got to force your way through it. This will probably kill. That forward dash. Um, it depends on the range. Generally speaking, medium uppercut is the best. I do want to say right now that I don't really consider Ryu to be the greatest character for beginners anymore. So if you're playing Ryu just because someone said he's good for beginners, that's not really true. Do whatever's consistent. The most important thing by far is actually successfully getting the anti-air. But you should, technically speaking, you should be looking at where the opponent's standing, and you should say to yourself, if he jumped from here, I need to anti-air with this. If he's really far out, you need to be able to say, you know, if he theoretically jumped right now, I should anti-air with Runhouse. Yeah, it's based on range. Crouch Fierce is really narrow, Stain Roundhouse is really big, but Crouch Fierce has a better hitbox. And then medium DP is invincible, but it's really horrible if it whiffs. And also you've got to be able to do the motion efficiently, but it does the best damage when it knocks down. Ryu can use any of the three well. Have none of the Season 1 to 3 characters. Whoever you like. There's only like maybe one character that's bad for beginners. And it's probably Minot. Maybe Fong. You can play Ryu if you like Ryu, but just like find a character who you think is fun to play, or you like the look of, or anything. I usually recommend people to watch high-level footage of the game and just like pick a character who looks cool to them, based on the way they play. Yeah, pick someone you like playing. Pick someone who feels good. There's no hard advice on who you should play. So if someone tries to give you hard advice on who you should play, I would say write it off. If that was hard advice on who you should play, then fucking there'd be a lot of people playing, you know, certain characters. There are a lot of people who play Ryu, but it's mostly a legacy thing. I mean, you can get enough fight money to just buy a character just going through story mode. Very cool juggle. Nice seeing that starter. The normal story no longer gives fight money at all? Oh yeah, I forgot. Well, there's still ways of building. Oh, it's only leveling characters. Fucking sad. Thanks, Capcom. What about doing trials? That levels your character. Doing individual character story modes levels your character too. So you can still get fight money from doing stuff like that. I don't know how much survival mode nets you. I just bought the season passes for mine, so I couldn't tell you. Most supers do like around 70 damage worth of chip. It varies a bit. Most supers do about the chip of a medium. If a medium will kill, a blocked super will kill. Sagat super did a pretty alarming amount of chip. Obviously G's does as well. If you skip all the cutscenes, it only takes like a couple minutes to finish a story mode for a character. Yeah. The thing about fighting games is that rather than being really good at any one thing, although there's a little bit of that, it's mostly being somewhat good at like fucking 200 things. Resource use is definitely one of the 200 things. Nice parry. He saw it and reacted. You can react to a charged up Stern Rhinoceros Stand Fierce. I guess you would actually use a different parry though, right? Since you got a different parry for overheads versus non-overheads. If you see the charge up stem roundhouse, you've got to parry with the overhead parry. I don't know, actually. It might be one's just an anti-air parry and one's like a grounded parry, rather than overhead versus mid. I think you probably use the grounded parry for overheads, grounded overheads. It might be the same parry. I don't know because I don't play Colleen. That's generally true, yes. The fastest way to get into any fighting game is just playing that fighting game. It doesn't make any sense to be like, I want to play Guilty Gear, so I'm going to play Street Fighter for fucking a year and then play Guilty Gear. Just play Guilty Gear now. But Street Fighter's, you know, it's fun. Yeah, seems to never head jump short. Oh no. That should have been, oh my god. He should have just comboed. He should have just landed no DP. Instead of taking the mix-up, it was important to knock G over. Always take the knockdown with G. If you can knock G over, it's better than fucking... A bird in the hand is actually worth two in the bush against G. I think he wanted that same medium kick into trigger. Maybe not, I don't know. I don't know what this guy's thinking. I would say that most characters are approximately equally combo heavy in this game. Sagat's combos are short, but I wouldn't really call them not combo heavy. Almost all combos in this game is just going to be normal into special. That's true for like the whole cast. Sagat actually has some execution things that make him a little weird to play. Not that he's horrible for beginners or anything. But doing Kara uppercuts is a bit stranger than what you have to do when starting with other characters. The XG kick is safe. I think he thought he was full charge. Wow. What should I do at the very beginning of a round? Depends on your opponent. Depends on you. They're not super rewarding or anything, but they do have a good hitbox. The X1 also goes through fireballs. It'd be nice if there was some Ryu footage to like look at. Unfortunately, Ryu is not played by almost anyone, which I think is the main reason he's not a good character for beginners. There's no footage to look at to get good advice on what to do, and also the fact that very few people play him at high level is a good indication that he doesn't go anywhere. That he's not fun. Yeah, when Sagat gets going, it's fantastic. Can this kill? Kill was the wrong word. I meant dizzy. And to my surprise, yes. Ryu is probably not bottom tier. It's hard to say. Ryu is very underwhelming. He probably has a very slightly losing matchup against every character in the game. Or like almost every character in the game. But his matchups are pretty fair. He doesn't really get slaughtered by anyone. People like to act like Ryu's like horrible, but really it's just that he's never good. Very rarely is he actually counterpicked in any way. Best Ryu, like highest tier Ryu, Vanilla 4, maybe. There are probably some old Street Fighters where Ryu is like top 1, but I can't think of one. Championship Edition, he's like top 3, I think. Ryu's like number 5, maybe, or 6 in Super Turbo. Alpha 3, he's like probably high. I could see him being top in Alpha 2. I think that's right. But I don't remember, it's been so long. I see a good amount of Zeku's play both now. He's also rewarded for swapping, so I'm not really sure I would change anything about the way his form shift works. That was cool. Use the V trigger to dodge the zonk. Scary. Scary, very scary. He's dead to like one touch now. Perfect. That rock might hit too. Where'd it go? Never came down. I think it's okay to have old Zeku be slightly worse, if only because you always start as him. You need to look for an opportunity to swap. I like the idea of like old Zeku being zoning oriented and young Zeku being rushdown oriented. This is just random footage, random replays. It's not from a tournament or anything. I haven't really fucked around with them fighting herds in a minute. The meaty. The thing about Cody is most of his animations are okay, but light kick is one of his best attacks, and it's like one of the ugliest animations in the whole game. So people like to bring up that one. Very nice combo. Really good pickup. There's something I kind of don't like about the way Cody holds his arms, but it's not like a big deal. But there's something there. Like his stand medium punch doesn't really look like a human, the way a human would punch. That that was a good setup. That was really cool. Using that trigger to buffer the super motion. There should be a fighting game character who constantly dislocates and breaks their own bones to do attacks. That probably already exists. Crush counter far sweep. I haven't seen that in a minute. It's got a really cool animation on that. I guess Dawson kind of does that. I wasn't really thinking about him, but he's definitely dislocating something. I was just picturing Cody like doing like stand like kick, and then the leg just goes like it keeps on just moving. His leg keeps on going up until it's literally pointing like straight up. So like his foot is here, and then his other foot is going straight out, and then the leg like at the knee it's bending like upwards. So he like his leg goes out, and then the leg swings like up like 180 degrees. And then I thought about a character who did that. Be horrifying. This guy can't get his fucking full charge command grabs. A really good AI that doesn't cheat. Street Fighter 5 doesn't cheat. Technically speaking, every single fighting game has to read inputs. There's no way around it. The AI has to know what you're doing. But Street Fighter 5 is really good about not using inputs that you just made. And it also plays relatively like a human. I fought this comms in Street Fighter 5 a lot. I did a bunch of the survival stuff. It doesn't feel like it's cheating to me in any way. Punish pre-jump frames. I don't know about that. I've never noticed that. From what I can tell, if I'm holding up or if I'm not holding up, it seems to do the same things. It has some limitations that it hides pretty well. The game doesn't really seem to know how close you are. Oddly enough. So like it's not really sure what to do when you jump in from range where like you might be jumping on its head or you might be jumping over it or you might be jumping like from way outside. And it'll do like the same things for all three of those jumps. Not want in Season 4. I don't give a fuck. There's no one I don't want in the game. The only character I didn't want in the game is Armika, and she's already in it. I guess I don't want DiCaprio. I didn't like fighting her in 4, and then there was the added fact that she's like a doll that's already in the game, so it would be lazy. Oh my god, that's such an aggressive read. He was just right. I wouldn't mind Seth, but I'd want him to get new special moves. I want him to borrow special moves from different characters. I want him to only have Tanden. I want everything else to be new. I want him to throw Hadokens and shit. A completely original character, what's missing? I don't know. I'm not in a position to answer that right now. Love that combo. It's very cool. I am actually curious to know what the hell they would do to T-Hawk, but I don't want another grappler. But it'd be kind of cool to see T-Hawk get it all SF5ified, because he's probably one of the easiest characters ever to put into SF5, mechanically. He like could almost already be a Street Fighter 5 character. With his extremely gimped combo routes. And his very, like, you know, guessy rushdown mix-up. Seth with Abigail's run, let's do this. Um, Pretty much everyone in SF5 is a rushdown character. Everyone's objective is approaching. And most characters have very short range on most of their attacks compared to previous Street Fighter games. It's like kind of still true. It's not as bad as it was. It got worse, actually. In Season 1, you had a bit of a split. And then in Season 2, it was like all the good characters were rushed down. And a lot of the non-rushdown characters got rushdownified. And then Street Fighter 3, it scaled back a little bit. Street Fighter 3, did I just say that? Season 3. I'm just clicking videos. This one's got a Sakura. I actually haven't seen that much Yuria footage, and she's pretty much the only Sakura I've seen. I'm mostly self-taught. There aren't that many Sakuras to learn from. This costume has bare feet. God, why am I not picking it? She plays just a little bit like Q, but you wouldn't immediately notice it. The command grab is very similar to Q's, and the charging works decently like Q's taunt, but that's pretty much where it stops. Very nice. Alex is very similar to how he is in Street Fighter 3. He uses some different normals. He's marginally more pokey in Street Fighter 3. Far medium kick is a lot better. And low medium kick is a bit better in 3. He got that from really far out. Unfortunately, Alex is kind of middling in very similar ways in 3 that he is now. The only characters with true parrying are like Ryu and Alex, I think. But there's characters with like guard points or like single hits of armor. There's like a decent number of those. Or like a parry special move like Colleen. Oof. So far out. He believed in himself. Wow, the empty cancel from low forward? That was good. He's playing this pretty much the way I play it, but better. But he's got the same basic strategy going. Ooh. He didn't see anything whiff, so he wasn't feeling safe to cancel it. But then ended up hitting so. This is an ass ton. I feel like you should do it. Just use the super. Yeah. That's what I'd have done here. God, where did all our HP go? Crouch light kick forward dash. Duly noted. Dash crouch light kick is really good. I generally don't use crouch light kick almost at all. I could use it a lot more than I do. Rio seems to like it a lot. That was a good DP motion, actually. He uses stand light kick less than me. He uses it neutral. But it's like he doesn't really... Oh, that hit the extended limb. Oh my god, it's over. Max range combos. Damn, that's right. It's only one play to play this character, that's why he stopped playing her. I know that setup. Any DP in the corner into whiff stand short into low strong catches both rises. It's a median back rise too, so you get a lot of plus frames. It's a shame, but I think there's no full archive of that match. And I would have loved to see it. That's like most of the characters in SF5, to be honest. There's only one good way to play them. That's like a weakness of SF5 as a game, is that you can't... It's really hard to look at a Kami and say who's playing that Kami. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of personality in almost any character. You could probably spot Sako's Minot from other Minots. Yeah, pretty easy to say who's playing a Minot. Justin Wong's Minot would be easy to spot as well. Very nice. He got the combo that I get. I love that this doesn't cost any trigger time. I appreciate that a lot. Nice for the throw. What happened here? What was this great mystery that I just saw? Was it meaty? What was the setup? Throw? Was it meaty? I guess it was. He got forward dash. He had an extra plus frame to work with. Unreal. That was some weird shit. That's normally +4 after forward dash, but he linked to stand strong, which is 5. I wonder if you have to get a perfect micro walk or if you just do stand roundhouse immediately after forward throw. I usually walk a bit to end up a little closer and just to catch people when they're more likely to be doing buttons. I didn't realize that being stationary gave me a better follow-up. I've been dropping that forever. I've probably had a lot of opportunities for that I've never pursued. Punch-On did really well just recently at TW Fighter. Whatever, that whole thing. Using Kareen a lot of the way. She's alright. It is a shame she dropped as much as she had, but really she was overplayed before. I think she's underplayed now, though. I don't think she's that bad. I think Punk would probably be having more success with Kareen than Kami, to be honest. Even with the Kami buffs and the Kareen nerfs? nice combo. I'm surprised. Oh, no, that was it. I was about to say I'm surprised he didn't do the back throw, but that is the back throw. I'm dumb. I never do stand strong, stand fierce, but it's a good sequence. Especially into a fireball. Nice. DP holds Dizzy here. Huh? Powerful technique. Max meter build, maybe. It probably was. What a thought. I never do like Tatsu into neutral jump. Jesus Christ. I thought I was scrubby. That was like Chief Scrubbedom. I feel more confident being scrubby knowing that Urio is. Oh, unfortunate. Dirty. Wasn't there a... I was gonna say, wasn't there a V-trigger there? Couldn't he have swung his fucking pipe and gotten the dizzy? That was really weird that he didn't. He got an EX Zonk on a character who was right about to be stunned. It was like a raw EX Zonk. He could have just hit hard punch, hard kick. And just dizzied Sakura right there, I feel. No, I have not actually played a Hat in Time yet. I'm waiting for a good opportunity to stream it, which might be very fucking soon. Seeing as I'm between games. I own Hat in Time. It's not like I need to buy it or anything. Yeah, just keep doing it. It's almost an even trade. That was like 100 damage cut short. Oof. Right in the face. I agree, that does feel really good. I just like the... I hate, like, crazy high burst damage in fighting games. Speaking as someone who plays Oro and does 70% combos. It feels so much better from those two things for me. Took it so far in the right direction. I like the throw Okizen nerf, and I like the throw damage buff. Both of those feel great too. Those 4 changes made the game fantastic in my opinion. Or like a far cry from what it was, rather. Fantastic's a bit strong. But all 4 of those changes all helped the game immensely. That's a VAF jump right there. Oh, he did it. That's my setup. I invented that setup. He must have invented it first and better. Crouch Fierce into EX Fireball in the corner on a character with no 3 frame. You don't have to move to get a throw. I feel like the V-Gauge build is generally better, but it definitely depends on the match. And most characters have different combos depending on whether they want max damage or max V-meter build. The proper throw would have actually killed. Oh, that didn't punish. Oh no! This will kill! He saved the super. He was like, I don't need the super. He was right. I would have saved it, but I would have been thinking to myself in the back of my mind, I hope this kills. I was pretty sure it was going to kill, but I was scared. Worst case scenario, you just chip him out with a super. See, look, he does it. Urio does that too. He takes the hard Tatsu ender. I didn't know that Urio did that. I thought a lot of Sakura players still did the hard DP ender. I would have back thrown, to be honest. I honestly would have taken a back throw punish there. Just to get Cody into the corner. Oh no. I think there was a kill there. No, probably not. Because the only thing he could have juggled into was medium. No, he might have been able to do juggle into EX Zonk and then juggle into V-Trigger from there. EX Zonk does the same damage as medium Ruffian Kick, but EX Zonk has to juggle into V-Trigger, Pipe Swing, and medium Ruffian Kick does as well, but only in the corner. But EX Zonk's juggle works mid-screen. I like Ryu and Ken as a simple and technical version of the same character. Street Fighter 4 kind of had that. I feel like 5 not so much. Because of the way the forward dash versus, the walk-in versus, like, walk-in normal versus walk-in throw. It feels like throws in the corner still have some Oki, which feels nice. I don't want them to feel like they have none. I just don't want it to be like a fucking looping mix-up. I'm okay with momentum in fighting games. Especially in a game with a dizzy bar. If I could modify this game, I would make every character have a B&B that did like 200 more stun, but like 50 less damage. I would add one B&B for every character. I mean, a different combo route that did radically more stun and radically less damage. I think the game would benefit from something like that. Oh, they both hit. They look like they hit on the same frame. Yeah, I would like that a lot as well. Combos with more screen carry. Sagat makes that decision. Tiger Knee versus Tiger Uppercut. Screen carry plus Okizeme versus damage and cancelability. Akuma has like a whole fucking metagame of repositioning during his combos. His V skill has the side swap, the EX, what do you call it? On block and hit, you can use EX Demon Flip to reposition. You can use that to get an ass ton of corner carry with the EX Demon Flip slide. Or EX Demon Flip dive kick V skill punch. You got combos that leave you full screen with like fucking flip into EX Tatsu, EX Air Tatsu. Akuma's combo routes are pretty much perfect in the context of this game. In fact, obviously they're a bit too good. He probably shouldn't be able to escape the corner as easily as he can. But I'd still say Akuma's the ideal that other characters should be worked towards. Akuma's V skill feels really good. The only complaint I have is it doesn't really feel him. But it works with his Raging Demon, obviously, so it feels like it has some kind of tandem with his other stuff. You got like 3 different ways to use it. You've got the V-Skill Punch. You've got like the V-Skill Armor to use it like a parry, or the low V-Skill Armor to use it like a parry. You got the V-Skill Kick for his like B&Bs. The punch can be spaced to be safe. The kick, can be used to anti-air. The punch can be used to anti-air. The punch is faster, so maybe if you're parrying something, you want to do the punch rather than the kick to be safer. There's so many considerations. It's like a single attack, but you can use it in so many different ways. Straight swing's -3, I think. Ken technically has a punish for -3. I'm not sure if it'd work, but I guess theoretically, if Ken blocked a straight swing, he could light Tatsu or light DP. Probably most Kens wouldn't really be ready for that. There's too many unitasker V skills. That's the biggest problem I have with the system. There's a lot of V skills that just do one very specific thing. And those V skills are really hard to use. Like the charging V skills, I'd make them way faster. Angry Scar, I'd cut down like half the recovery on that shit. Or I'd make it so Sagat could like cancel a Tiger Uppercut to an Angry Scar on hit or something like that. So he could just restock it. I'd be a-okay if they added a new super for every character and then cut down some of the things each individual super could do. Like they removed some super juggle routes that exist right now. One of the supers does more damage, one of them has like more combo potential, or they work in different contexts. Give everyone that shit. Give supers you can combo into and out of. I want something like level 2 supers from Seagroove at the end of the day. Imagine if every single super... This is what I liked. Cross Tekken did this. Imagine if you had a super where it had an ender, but you could cancel the second to last hit into something instead. And then you could just kill the whole ender. And sometimes you'd want the ender, and sometimes you wouldn't. That's so easy to do, and it would be so neat. I'd want cheaper supers that are less match deciding. More in line with Third Strike. I feel like a super should do like no more than 20%. But it should have some unusual applications with how you land it. Like maybe invincibility, or maybe like a good anti-air hitbox, or like the ability to cancel special moves into it. Third Strike has very ideal supers in my opinion. Because you have a lot of supers that are highly neutral oriented. And you've got a lot of supers that are like combo enders. You've got a lot of different ways to land a super. Nice. I think supers just do too much damage. They don't even do that much, but I just think it's too much. My idea for how much damage a super should do is way less than the amount that supers do. Hugo picks different supers based on the matchup. Probably the best super overall is Super 3, but it's hard to say. It's a very hard call. Super 1 is still very good. And they're really good at different things. I mean, it depends on what you're asking when you say ideal. That does more damage than I'm uncomfortable with, too. But Hugo's that kind of character, so I can overlook it. He's like an all or nothing. I don't like the anti-approach for like Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5 grapplers. But the anti-approach for Street Fighter 3 Hugo felt very good because of the way parries work. It felt like he really truly was gimped in his movement. And he really did have to fight his way in. It feels like Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5 grapplers are like pretend gimped with their movement. Like, yeah, Zangief and Armika don't move as well as... Well, Armika moves pretty fast. Zangief and, Zangief and Zangief don't move as well as a lot of the other characters do. They don't cover the same amount of screen that a lot of the other characters do. Sure, Alex. Alex's movement is pretty weird. But it feels like just pretend worse. Like, it is worse, but it's not way worse. You don't have to try super hard to get in with Alex or Geef. You just have to walk. Same as every other character. It's just very marginally harder. Because the opponent's more likely to actually be trying to prevent you from getting in. I want to cry every time I eat command grab and TX command grab. I feel better watching Momochi eat it. It gives me the confidence to eat it. Some things just feel so shit to eat in Street Fighter 5. I feel very strongly like I made a mistake to even be in that context. Wow, what kind of fucking... He really ruined that setup. This should be fine. Laura should have no escape. If that was EX command grab, that was the smartest thing he could have done. But it looked like it lost. I would not have called with a certainty that that would have lost. I'm not really sure about the fireball status of Cody's super. I'm also not really sure about just how much of Laura's EX command grab is fireball invincible. If it's like the whole fucking thing. I think it is, but I'm not sure. It might only be some of her traveling frames. Very nice. Japan doesn't have a whole lot of Lauras. Rarely do I see Japanese footage with a Laura player. No. EX elbow is armored. EX command grab has invincibility, but it's only invincibility to fireballs. MOV plays Chun. I feel like there's another big one. Chun players aren't gone. They're not common anymore. But Chun-Li was never super common. Human Bomb. He's the one I was thinking of. Even when Chun-Li was like top tier in Season 1, it's not like there were like an army of Chun-Li players. Nice. Mesh so short. Powerful. I wish my same medium punch anti-air as well as Solaris does. Usually, it's horrible against a straight jump in, but usually Sakura Stand Strong will win her trade against a cross up. Not always though. I wish it was just a bit better than it is. I meant to click on this one earlier. I want to see Falk players, dude. I believe. I believe in the presence of Falk players. I really do think that shotgun is kind of good. Shame about everything else. I would say that Falk successfully disappointed a lot of people. Um, yeah, she's very. She really doesn't have a lot to play around with. I wouldn't really call her. I don't know. It's hard to call. Her strong area is very hard to evaluate. I've talked about this before. Like, there is some stuff she's genuinely very good at. She has a presence where most characters don't have a presence. She can attack you from ranges where a lot of characters can't attack you. She's definitely not a rushdown character. Her ability to open you up is not that great. But she can attack in very non-committal ways, which is really good. I wouldn't call her a good character, but I feel like there's something there. If someone told me that Falk was a lot better than I thought, I would maybe believe them. On the surface, she looks like the worst character in the game. But the things she has that are good are highly neutral oriented. And neutral oriented stuff is really hard to evaluate, especially when very few people are playing the character. It's okay if your combos aren't as strong or if they're more specific to land. If the opponent doesn't get as many opportunities for combos, and if you get more opportunities for combos. I wouldn't really say that Falk's toolset makes her have more opportunities for combos, though. But she does generally win in neutral, from what I can tell. She generally has a better neutral than the opponent. Than most characters. She can hold her own in a fireball war. She can halt rushdown with some success. The problem is just her damage doesn't keep up with the opponent's damage. She gets like 5 fucking low jab shotgun releases. The opponent gets 1 jumping combo, and then the damage is the same. That's Falk. Nice. You have a link there. He didn't get it, but it exists. If you run out of V-trigger time, and you're still holding the knife, knife, crouch, jab links into regular low strong. It's an unusual combo route Cody has that was available there. I think he was close enough. It was counter hit too. He might have been able to do knife, crouch, jab into crouch fierce. I'm pretty sure that would have worked. I don't blame him for not being ready for it. It's weird as hell, but I'm pretty sure it was there. I wish there were more people trying to make Falk work, because I'm curious to know like where she really is. Boing. Justin Wong's Falk I saw a lot right at the beginning, and it is actually very good. I haven't seen him play her in a minute, but it's genuinely like probably the best Falk I've seen at all. Martin had a Falk as well he was playing, and it was really good as well. They both made the character look pretty good. I'd love to see Justin Wong just pick this character, but honestly, like, you know, Minot's the character for him. Falk secret mid, huh? I think Falk is a far cry from the worst character. It's a hard call from me on Geef. I think Geef is probably low tier. I don't know if I'd call him bottom. I think maybe Alex. No, probably Geef is worse than Alex now. I say Vega's worse. Vega's my personal pick for worst character in the game. I feel like Geef sucks, but he's got some areas where he can actually be like busted. I feel like Vega doesn't have that. Nice. Smart play. I'm getting kind of sleepy. Only got like 3 hours last night. Now I just woke up feeling rested. And now it's been like, you know, I got up and started streaming. Now it's been 6 hours since then and I'm feeling tired again. I don't think Vegas without Virtue. Just give him the fucking flip kick. There's really no reason for him to not have it. It's like a joke that his CA isn't invincible. I know why it's not. It's because they didn't. It's the only CA that hits before the freeze, and they didn't want to have an invincible super that you can't react to. Every other super starts with the super freeze, so you can just react to it. But what they should have done is they should have just made it the only super where it fucking you can't react to it and it's invincible. They should have just made it invincible on the way up. To be honest, I wouldn't even fucking have that. I'd have Splendid Claw as a super. I think that'd be a lot better of a super for him. I just have something where he just fucking sticks you on his claw and that's it. I don't like that he's got the fucking off the wall for a super. I feel like the only off the wall move Vega has that isn't archaic is the EX Flying Barcelona after it hits on the way up. Everything else is a fucking mess. It's impossible to balance. Very nice. Counter hit zonk. I like that Falk towards Fierce is like Vega towards Fierce, but better in every human way. Almost every low short in this game does 20 damage. There's probably like one or two that don't. Abigail does like 40. Alright, I'm gonna catch a nap. I'll be back on later today, almost for sure. I've been streaming for a while and I feel like lying down.